Arizona is the driest state in the continental United States. It has 7.5 million people growing fast in a desert that receives about 7 inches of rain per year. The river supplying most of its water is shrinking. The reservoirs are at historic lows, and the cities keep expanding. That is where this list ends. But before we get there, here are 20 facts that explain how a state this extreme, this ancient, and this geologically insane became one of the most consequential places in North America. Subscribe to Wild States Facts before we start. Fact 1. Arizona contains 7 of the world's major biomes: tropical, subtropical, desert, grassland, chaparral, forest, and tundra, stacked vertically on its mountain ranges. You can hike from Sonoran Desert cactus forest to spruce fir alpine tundra in a single day without leaving the state. The basin and range geology that created mountain ranges rising 8,000 feet from desert floors also created isolated ecological islands that make Arizona one of the most species-rich states in the country. Fact 2. The Grand Canyon exposes nearly 2 billion years of Earth's geological history in a single cross-section of rock, roughly half the age of the planet, visible in 1 vertical mile of canyon wall. The Colorado River carved 277 miles of it through the Colorado Plateau over approximately 6 million years. No photograph has ever accurately conveyed how large it actually is. The canyon is so deep that standing at the rim, the river at the bottom looks like a thin line. Fact 3. The Navajo Nation covers 27,425 square miles across Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. A sovereign nation with its own government, courts, police, schools, and legislature, larger than many American states and larger than 10 individual countries. The Navajo Nation is not historical. It is present, political, and involved in every major decision about Arizona's land, water, and governance. Fact 4. Monument Valley's sandstone buttes rising 1,000 feet from the valley floor have appeared in more films, commercials, and photographs than almost any other landscape on Earth. Director John Ford filmed 7 westerns there between 1939 and 1964 and created the visual template for the American West that the entire world subsequently adopted as definitive. The geology that produced Monument Valley, erosion removing softer surrounding rock and leaving isolated sandstone towers standing, did not care about the mythology it was about to generate. Fact 5. The Sonoran Desert is the hottest desert in North America and simultaneously the most biologically diverse desert on Earth, supporting over 2,000 plant species and the saguaro cactus, which grows nowhere else on the planet. The reason is a dual precipitation pattern, winter Pacific storms and summer monsoon moisture, that no other North American desert receives. Most deserts are biologically simple. The Sonoran breaks every rule about what deserts are supposed to be. Fact 6. Meteor Crater in northern Arizona was created approximately 50,000 years ago when a nickel-iron meteorite struck the Colorado Plateau at 26,000 miles per hour. It is 4,000 feet across and 560 feet deep and is the best-preserved meteorite impact crater on Earth. NASA used it to train Apollo astronauts for lunar geology, specifically because Arizona's dry climate preserves geological features that would disappear almost anywhere else. Fact 7. The Sky Islands of southeastern Arizona, mountain ranges rising from the desert floor, like biological islands in an ecological sea, represent the meeting point of 4 major biogeographic regions: the Rocky Mountains, the Sierra Madre, the Sonoran Desert, and the Chihuahuan Desert. This convergence produces more bird species than anywhere else in the United States and harbors species found nowhere else in the country. Fact 8. Petrified Forest National Park preserves the largest concentration of petrified wood in the world. The solidified remains of trees that fell 225 million years ago, buried in volcanic ash, and had their organic material replaced molecule by molecule with silica until the wood, became stone. The painted desert surrounding it erodes in layers of purple, red, orange, and gray that change color with every shift in light, displaying the Chinle Formation's 225 million-year history in visible bands of ancient chemistry. Fact 9. The Hohokam people who inhabited the Phoenix Basin from approximately 300 to 1450 CE built over 1,000 miles of canal irrigation across the Salt River Valley without metal tools or draft animals, sustaining communities of tens of thousands of people in one of the driest regions of North America. Modern Phoenix was built directly on top of the Hohokam Canal network, incorporating some of their original channels into the city's current irrigation infrastructure. Fact 10. The North American monsoon arrives in Arizona in early July and transforms the desert with afternoon thunderstorms that produce lightning of extraordinary frequency and flash floods that fill dry washes with walls of water within minutes. The smell of rain on dry desert soil, petrichor, is something Arizonans describe with the specificity of people who have been waiting for it all year. The entire ecological calendar of the desert revolves around these few weeks of summer moisture. Fact 11. Canyon de Chelly National Monument in northeastern Arizona contains evidence of continuous human occupation spanning 5,000 years, from archaic hunter-gatherers to the Navajo people who live in the canyon today. It is unique among national monuments as a protected landscape that is simultaneously a living community. The sheer red sandstone walls rising 1,000 feet from a canyon floor with perennial water and arable land created conditions for human settlement so successful that it has persisted through 5 millennia of climate change. Fact 12. The actual London Bridge, the one that crossed the Thames from 1831 until 1967, now spans a channel of the Colorado River in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. It was purchased by American entrepreneur Robert McCulloch, dismantled stone by stone in London, shipped to California, trucked across the desert, and reassembled on a man-made island beginning in 1968. The bridge is not a replica. It is the original structure sitting in the Arizona desert, drawing visitors to a planned resort community that McCulloch built specifically around it. Fact 13. Kitt Peak National Observatory in the Sonoran Desert southwest of Tucson operates 24 optical and 2 radio telescopes, the largest collection of optical telescopes in the world, on a mountain leased from the Tohono O'odham Nation. Arizona's mountain ranges, elevated above the desert floor in a climate with minimal cloud cover and sparse light pollution, gave the astronomical sciences their most productive concentration of observing infrastructure in the Northern Hemisphere. Fact 14. Montezuma's Castle in the Verde Valley is a 5-story, 20-room cliff dwelling built by the Sinagua people into a natural limestone alcove 100 feet above Beaver Creek between approximately 1100 and 1425 CE. The mud mortar, wooden beams, and plaster walls have survived 6 centuries under the natural shelter of the limestone overhang. It is the best preserved cliff dwelling in North America, and it was built in a location specifically chosen for its combination of permanent water, defensive height, and available building material. Fact 15. The Hopi village of Old Oribe on Third Mesa has been continuously occupied since at least 1100 Common Era, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited settlements in North America, older than any European settlement in the Americas. The geography of the Hopi Mesas, defensible positions in the high desert of the Colorado Plateau, created conditions for a cultural continuity that has no equal in North American history. Fact 16. Phoenix recorded a temperature of 128 degrees Fahrenheit in 1990 in the surrounding desert, and the city itself regularly exceeds 110 degrees in summer. The Phoenix Basin's flat desert floor is surrounded by mountains that trap heated air in a bowl whose temperature the city's own development has made progressively hotter, a phenomenon called the urban heat island effect. Phoenix is one of the fastest warming major cities on Earth, and much of that warming is caused by the city itself. Fact 17. The Colorado River enters Arizona at the Utah border and forms the entire western border of the state with California and Nevada. Its entire flow has been legally allocated to 7 states, leaving nothing for Mexico or the Gulf of California. The river no longer consistently reaches the sea. Arizona's major cities receive approximately 7 inches of rainfall per year and exist entirely on the premise that this river will continue to supply them. That premise is now in question. Fact 18. The Central Arizona Project, a 336-mile system of aqueducts and pumping stations that carries Colorado River water uphill to Phoenix and Tucson, cost $4 billion to build between 1973 and 1993. It is the largest and most expensive aqueduct system in American history. It is also the first water supply to be cut when Lake Mead drops below certain thresholds. Those thresholds have been triggered repeatedly in recent years. Fact 19. Arizona receives an average of 13 inches of precipitation annually, less than any other continental state except Nevada. Its population of 7.5 million people is sustained by a water budget under simultaneous pressure from 3 directions: Colorado River allocations being cut as reservoirs decline, groundwater pumping exceeding recharge rates, and monsoon precipitation becoming less reliable as regional temperatures rise. All 3 pressures are operating at the same time right now. Fact 20, and the one that this whole list has been building toward. Arizona is the place where the American Southwest will determine whether unlimited desert growth is sustainable or whether geography imposes limits that engineering cannot indefinitely defer. The Navajo Nation asserts sovereignty over the largest indigenous land base in the country. The Colorado River's water deficit is reaching a crisis point. The fastest-growing major cities in America are running out of the water that made their growth possible. Arizona is not a state experiencing future problems. It is a state where those problems are already here, visible in the dropping water levels, the rising temperatures, and the expanding cities that depend on both. That is 20 facts that prove Arizona is one of the most consequential places in North America right now. If one of these changed how you see the state, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if wild, real geography is your thing, subscribe to Wild States Facts, where I am covering every state, one wild fact at a time. See you in the next one.